Welcome to the 5th grade STAAR review. This review is meant to be done the 5 days before the STAAR test. The STAAR review format is similar to last year, but has been updated with new problems. Are you ready for the final countdown? Before continuing with the STAAR review video, go to Edline Unit 8 STAAR Review and print the blueprint, the teacher directions, and all of the documents for the STAAR review. The STAAR review is a time for students to review learning and build confidence to show that they are ready to take the test. Plan your theme and have it posted the week before the review. Talk with your students about the review. Send a note home to parents. Set realistic review goals with your students. If you teach more than one section of math, you could have classes compete against each other. At the end of each day, you can have students reflect on their goals. The STAAR review should be fun, different, and motivating for students. As you are preparing for the STAAR review, think about how you can create an environment in your classroom to allow math conversations where students feel encouraged, motivated, and most of all, successful. The 5th grade STAAR review. Student-centered classes talk about math, analyze work, apply knowledge, reason, reflect, and review. At this time, please refer to the Math STAAR Review teacher directions. Before starting the STAAR review, think about your groupings of students. Do you want them to work in pairs, in small groups, or in a large group? Student-centered classes talk about math. This is an opportunity to engage students and activate prior knowledge on specific concepts. As students are talking about their understanding of a skill or concept, it allows teachers to walk around the room and find out if there are any misconceptions that need clearing up. If time allows, students can share their thinking with the class. This is an example of the student talk from Category 3. In preparing for the student talk section of the STAAR review, each day you will need to go through and anticipate what you should hear students talking about. In this example, you want students to know the difference between area and perimeter. In the shape to the left, students should be able to tell you how they find the area within an area. It's always good to refer students to the ADS model. How are students analyzing or visualizing what the question is asking them to do? What would their plan be for solving this problem? During the Analyze Work section of the STAAR review, students work with a partner to analyze how a problem was solved in order to determine if the problem was solved correctly or incorrectly. If the problem was solved incorrectly, evaluate the mistake that was made during the process. Each student should be able to communicate what the mistake was if a mistake was found. You could have students record their findings in a journal for accountability purposes. This is an example of the Analyze Work from Category 1. In the Analyze Work section, there will be 2 different problems for students to work, a set A and a set B. Within each set, there will be 2 student samples. If you are short on time, there are several options you can choose for analyzing work. One option would be to analyze Set A, Student 1. Another option would be to analyze the student work in Set A from Student 1 and Student 2. Or you could analyze Student 1 in Set A and Student 1 in Set B. You will have to go through ahead of time and make those decisions. You can always come back to the Analyze Work section and work on the problems that haven't been done later on in the review. In the Apply section, students will have 4 problems to solve. Students need to solve these problems independently without any help from the teacher. Students should take between 15 and 20 minutes during this section. Students should not be spending more than about 4 minutes on each problem. As the students are finishing, the teacher can distribute the Evaluate and Communicate open-ended task. This is a time to hold students accountable for showing all of their work when solving problems. This is an example of the Apply section for Category 4. Please hold students accountable for showing their strategies on these problems. As the students are turning these in, the teacher can start grading them to figure out who they need to pull in a small group, or if the entire class misses a problem, they may want to review it with the entire class before moving into small groups. The Evaluate and Communicate should be handed to students once they have finished the Apply problems. Students should work this part independently. There are also some additional activities on Edline if you would like to also use those. Another option would be to use the activities that you created earlier in the year for that particular category. During the Reason, Reflect, and Review section, that's the time where the teacher can conference with students or pull small groups. Students who are not pulled in a small group can continue to work on the Evaluate and Communicate task, additional activity, or can work the review problems provided each day. Almost all of the problems in the review are from the supporting standards. If you don't have time to get to the review problems during the day, you could also send those home for homework. This is an example of the review problems from Category 2, Part 1. You can see that it looks very similar to what the Apply problems look like. Almost all the problems in the review section come from the supporting standards. Please take a few minutes to look over the blueprint. The categories are listed across the top. The number below the category indicates how many questions out of the total test will come from that particular category. Down the side, it shows you each of the sections for the STAAR review. Attached to the blueprint, you will find the answer key. Although an answer key is provided, it is important that you have worked through all the problems to know what student work should look like. Keeping students motivated during this time is critical. Do you have a system for tracking progress? Do you have a reward system for showing work or answering the problems correctly? How about for having a good attitude? Organization is also key for having a successful review. Do you want to color code your copies by day? Or maybe by section? Have you thought through what you might do for those students who finish quickly? The activities you choose for them to do should be focused, purposeful, and the students need to be held accountable for their learning. Print off the online review document. Follow the steps and write a response to steps 6 through 8. You will need your principal, instructional specialist, or campus math specialist sign that you completed all the steps. Once you have all the signatures, you can scan and send to Leslie Murto. The deadline for completing this course is March 15th. So what's your plan for success?